let's start by understanding what exactly is .NET. Okay, to start with, I would say it is not a programming language. It is not a database. So if it is not a programming language, if it is not a database, then what exactly is it? It is a platform where you can develop any type of application. It is a framework where you can develop any type of application using any type of language. It's a technology by which one can develop internet-based application very quickly. So when we talk about .NET, we say that .NET is a platform, .NET is a framework, .NET is basically a technology. Now when I say you can develop any type of application, what am I highlighting over here? When I say any type of application, I'm talking about you can either develop a console-based application. Console-based application means that something like, application that runs on the command prompt. DOS-like screen. Okay. And what else can you develop? You can develop a window-based application. We say it's basically desktop-based application with graphical user interface. Or GUI. Okay. You can develop web-based applications. Okay, so websites can be built. Also, you can develop mobile-based applications. So, you can develop these types of application without, you having to move from or shunt between the different platforms. You can still develop these types of applications using the .NET platform. Fair enough? Another thing is, when I say it's a framework wherein you can develop any type of application using any type of language, what does it mean? It means that .NET framework is supporting application development using multiple programming languages. Okay, what does this mean? Now, when you look into the overall IT segment, okay, there are so many languages. For example, you have C, you have C++, you have VC++, you have VB, you have ADA, you have COBOL. All right, so you got these different types of languages available. Okay, these are all programming languages. These are available, and through which you can develop any type of application. But what I'm trying to highlight to you over here is, I'm saying that if I have developed an application on X language, then that application can also interact with another application which is written in Y language. Now, why is it so important, or what makes us to say that this is the speciality of .NET framework? Take a look at a certain pieces of code. Okay, I'm just writing few codes. Okay, this is a typical code that we normally write in C language. And this is a typical code that I'm writing in Visual Basic. Now, first of all, we can easily say that these two are separate pieces of code, right? The formats are different. What all things are different over here? Let's try and understand that. What all things are different? Number one, format of the code is different. Number two, data types used are different. So here I say int, and here I'm saying integer. Now you may say, array, that int and integer, they are one and the same only. True. But who is defining that this int and integer is same? It is you and me who are defining this int and integer are same. Okay, but we are working on a system which cannot recognize what is the difference between an int and an integer. So what I'm trying to say is that a code that I'm writing in C language can be invoked in Visual Basic, or vice versa, keeping the format and the data types in the picture. Now, okay, and .NET is a technology with the help of which you can develop internet-based applications very quickly. So, without any hassles, you can quickly develop an application and you can start deploying it as well. So that is a benefit that you get when you're working with the .NET. Any questions for me till now? Am I clear? Guys, am I clear to all of you? Okay, I have a question, and Charanpreet Singh, is it right to say it's an IDE? The answer is no. It is definitely not an IDE. An IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Now you'll understand that a little later. Okay, so uh, what I can say, what I can tell you right now is IDE is a tool with the help of which you develop application. The application's backbone is .NET Framework. Fair enough? Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay. Now, when you talk about .NET Framework, we have certain components of .NET Framework. Okay. These are basically divided into two parts. Number one is known as the framework class libraries, or they can also be termed as base class libraries. FCL or BCL. So what does this framework class libraries or the base class libraries contain in themselves? Yeah, sure, Charanpreet. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. Okay, just give me a moment. So when you talk about framework class libraries or base class libraries, it's basically collection of various classes that has various important methods predefined and can be used to develop applications. All right. So you'll be learning all these framework class libraries and the base class libraries. Okay. The second important component that comes in the picture is common runtime library. Sorry. Language runtime. Okay, now what exactly is this? Now this CLR is basically the main engine behind the .NET framework. Okay, this is very important. What are its roles? First of all, its role is to memory management. Now what does memory management mean to us? We define variables, various variables in our applications. Okay, we use them. All right. Now, when the time comes to discard them, we either forget to do it or we do it at the wrong place. The memory management handles the disposing of all the variables, objects that was put to use during application development. So when the when an object is no longer needed, it will automatically be marked that this particular object is not being made available, is not in use anymore, and the CLR will take it off from the memory automatically without we having to do it. So this is the first and foremost thing that it deals with. Second is, it has something known as common language specification. Okay. Now, as I showed you earlier, that this is the C language code, this is the Visual Basic code. All right. Now, you can clearly see that the format of this particular languages, these languages are different. In C language, we are using the curly brackets, the round brackets, and in C language, we do not have any differentiation between a procedure and a function. But the same thing when you do it in Visual Basic, you have two different things. You have a procedure and you have a function. So it's clearly, differentiated. Number two, we don't have the concept of bringing any round brackets or the curly braces or something like that sort. Right, that's a very good question, Charanpreet. When CLR will keep listening to what you are accessing, all right, and during the flow, what happens? It will identify from where you have stopped using it, and it would mark it, and it would check whether it is still being used in the application at a future point or not. So if it is not, it will automatically remove it. So it is doing it on its own. Okay, so it is 100% sure that it is disposing of only those variables or objects which the application is not, it does not need at any time now. Fair enough? The logic it follows like this. On the memory, these variables are either getting declared in the heap or either these variables are declared either in heap or in stack. So if you are having the stack, if you are having a normal variable, that normal variable is defined within the stack. If you're talking about an object, it is basically consuming its space in the heap. So when the object is in scope, that is when with the help of that object the methods are getting executed, that object is in scope. Once the scope is lost, just a moment, Charanpreet, just a moment, I'll answer your question, hold on. Once the particular object goes out of scope, automatically it will put a mark and it will check whether this scope is coming back to the same object or not. If it is not coming back to the same object, it will remove it. So it does not remove it abruptly. It will wait. It will analyze, when, if it is being, if it is coming back to the same object or not. If not, then it will remove it automatically. Is it clear now? Right. Now, we'll talk about the normal variables and the objects and everything at a little later stage. Okay. So for you right now, I'm just telling you that a normal variable is a variable which has been declared of type integer, character, string. These are normal variables. Fair enough? That is correct. That is correct. They are primitive data types. Okay. Absolutely, you'll be learning all those stuffs as well. Right, guys, just give me 2 minutes. Okay, I'm back now. Right. So, first of all, the common language specification holds the information about various formats, various code format used by different languages. Okay, and then you have common type system. Some say it is system, some say it's specification. That's all fine. Okay. Now, what does it mean? Common type system. As I said, here I have declared a variable of type integer. Here I have declared a variable of type int. I am saying these two are same. How are they same? Has to be explained, addressed to the CLR. This is done by the common type system. How is it being done? Let me show you that. Assuming this is C language. And here we have the int data type. This is Visual Basic language type. And here we have integer. Now both these are actually mapped to a common data type, and this is int32. So suppose you have created one application over here. So here you have created one application. This is a C language application wherein we are using some int variables. All right. Now, for some reason, I am using this application in another application which I have written in Visual Basic. So this is my VB application. Okay, and the VB application is using the C language application for some purpose. Okay, and it is supposed to receive some values from these integer variables. So the flow goes like this. First of all, from the C language, the int variables value will go to this int32, and from this int32, the data will then be passed to this Visual Basic application. Is it clear now? Guys, is it clear now? Yeah, sort of, Charanpreet. Sort of. Any questions from anyone else? Okay. Charanpreet Singh, take a look at a scenario. Let us assume that I, as a company, I need to develop an ERP solution. Okay. Now, what I've done is I have hired, say, 20 candidates who are the best in the industry. Now, within the ERP, you have different segments. So you have an account segment or the finance segment, you have a marketing, you have production, you have, probably sales, you have HR. So you have different segments within the ERP. Now the 20 people you have hired, each one is an expert in a respective domain. So just think from this angle that you are excellent with the finance domain and you have developed good number of applications under the finance domain using X language. The concept of PeopleSoft or the SAP is a what you call a recent introduction part. All right. I'm not sure when this PeopleSoft was actually introduced, but I'm talking about a period during 95 onwards, 95 or 1996 onwards, wherein people used to work on different technology to build different types of applications. So what Microsoft wanted was that it wanted to provide a particular framework, it wanted to provide a platform wherein all these developers can be pulled in and their talent can be utilized appropriately and the application can be developed very comfortably. So considering that angle, they have introduced this language interoperability. Plus, when you talk about the applications like PeopleSoft or the SAP, correct me if I'm wrong, these are a little expensive applications. These are a little expensive softwares. All right. Now, not everybody has the capacity to learn. Yeah, think from this angle. See, we do have ERPs like that. But what is the cost associated with these ERPs? Okay, .NET is not free, .NET is not open source to start with. Okay, I'm not talking about anything about free or open source. Here we are talking about how economical does it become when you are interacting with the .NET based framework or the application. Comparing it with an ERP, okay, the application developed in .NET is quicker, is a little cheaper, all right, and is reliable. So when it comes to a mid-sized company, okay, small or mid-sized company, most of them, they may not have ample amount of resources with them to buy these ERP softwares. And if you would have noticed, the big companies, okay, the big enterprises, they are the ones who are using this PeopleSoft or SAP thing, because the license fee of itself of these technologies are little expensive. Okay, so Microsoft wants that, whatever technology we are developing, that should be made reachable to everybody at a certain cost. You cannot give everything for free, unlike Java. All right, sorry to compare, but unlike Java, .NET cannot be free or open source. So the reason it has not been made open source is that, they want people to use it. Okay, and there is a set standard available over there which can be followed, so you don't have to go here and there looking for solution for big problems. Fair enough? Yeah. So now we have an understanding as to why this the common type system comes into the picture. Okay, so this has collection of various data types used by different programming languages. All right. So as you can see over here, yes, Charanpreet, Microsoft has come up with a project called Mono, wherein you can develop a .NET based application on a Unix based platform. But then that is in its starting phase only. It's not like completely integrated or something like that sort. It's just it's just introduced. So I'm not sure how successful it is basically. Okay. So as you can see, it says the .NET framework is a software framework developed by Microsoft that runs primarily on Microsoft Windows, and now it has been made open source with the .NET 2015, not prior to that. Okay, and is extending it to run on a Mac OS platforms and Unix. All right. So it's a technology that supports building and running the next generation of applications and XML web services. And you can develop console-based applications, Windows-based applications, WPF applications, ASP.NET applications, Windows services, and service-oriented applications using Windows Communication Foundation. So these are the things that you can do with the .NET framework. All right. All right. Now, when you talk about .NET framework, you have various versions of it, and with each versions there are, let me put it as framework versions and language versions. Okay, so it all started off with 1.0, 1.1, 2.0, 3.0, 2.5, 4.0, 2.5. Okay, and depending upon the different languages, there are different versions basically. So it goes like this. Okay, for .NET. Now we are going to concentrate from 2.0 and we'll go all the way till 4.0. Okay, so this would be our area of concentration basically. Okay, so for .NET Framework 2.0, okay, or let me put it this way: we had C# 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. These are the language versions related to .NET Framework. Okay, so you will be learning the various features associated with the language and the various framework features that are associated with different frameworks. Okay, to start with, I'm talking about .NET Framework 2.0. So now in 2.0, see, .NET Framework from 2.0 onwards is giving support to multiple programming languages. For example, you can develop applications using Visual Basic, you can develop applications using Visual C++, you can develop applications using C#, you can also develop applications using C language, using COBOL, using Pascal. So these are the languages which are supported by .NET Framework 2.0. There are as many as 100. All right. VB script or JavaScript are not programming languages. They are scripting languages. Scripting language is altogether different from programming languages. I'm concentrating upon programming language. But in the web application, that you develop using the .NET framework, you can definitely incorporate VB scripting or JavaScripting. These are basically client-side scripting languages. These are meant for handling client-side validations in the application. So these two scripting languages can very well be used with a ASP.NET web application. Fair enough? Yeah. Okay. So when you talk about .NET Framework 2.0, okay, here we say that we can develop console-based applications, window-based applications. We term it as WinForms. Web-based applications using ASP.NET. Web-based services, that is web services using ASP.NET again. To play around with the databases, you have ADO.NET. To interact, make applications interact with databases. So these were part of .NET Framework 2.0, and this is what you will be learning right now. Okay. With .NET Framework 2.0, we had C# 2.0. That is correct. That is correct, Charanpreet. In web-based services, we need is a WSDL URL. But over here in this training program, you would be learning the intricacies of what a web-based service is all about. How do I create a web-based service, and how do I consume it? Right. So you have C# 2.0 language, okay, wherein we are talking about classes and objects, the regular classes and objects. We have structures. We have enumerated types. All these things you'll be learning in detail, okay. You have abstract classes, abstract methods, interfaces, generics, then you have delegates, event handlers. Okay, so these are some of the examples of the concepts that were introduced with the C# 2.0 language. Okay, so you're going to learn from this situation, from this area, and you have other things to be followed up. In .NET Framework 3.0, we have Windows Presentation Foundation, which we termed as WPF, Windows Communication Foundation, WCF, Windows Workflow Foundation, Windows Cartridges. Okay, with .NET Framework 3.0 came C# 3.0. Wherein you had we have got something known as anonymous types or methods, properties, object and collection initializers, extension methods, partial classes, so you will be learning this entire concept you will be learning, okay, and we will have a small introduction about these two concepts as well, okay. We will not be going in depth, but yes, we'll be touching upon the basic introduction part of WPF and WCF in this current training program, okay. So I will be highlighting all the necessary points about a language, what concept was introduced at what point of time, you know, why was it introduced, what was the benefit, how to use it, okay, how to play around with it. All these things you'll be learning, okay, over a period of time. Any questions for me? Any kind of confusions? Any issues? Okay, Vandana. I'll give you a very simple example so that you can relate what web-based services are. Okay. Um, you go to yahoo.com. Okay. Yahoo.com is a basic site. Okay. It's a website. Okay. It's a search engine probably. Okay. Now, tell me one thing. When you scroll down a little bit, okay, and over here, what is it showing to you over here? Is it showing you the weather forecast for a given city? Yeah. All right. Now, definitely, Yahoo does not have well, Yahoo is not a meteorological department to identify the temperature and things like that. So what it does is it connects to a meteorological department's site from where it pulls up the information and it displays to you. Similarly, take a look at a little bit down. You will see that it shows the stock market details. Now, stock markets are not handled by Yahoo. Okay, so yet you're able to see that information. So it is something like this, that you have uh, some pieces of information hosted somewhere, and you're using them on your web-based applications. So these are your web services. Is it clear, Vandana? Right. Charanpreet Singh, hope we'll also be doing hands-on. We will be doing only hands-on, because that will give us a very good idea, a clear-cut idea as to how to play around with the applications. So we'll be developing a lot of applications, lot of examples, wherein we can learn good number of things, and we can play around with it. All right. It has to be a 95% of efforts from your end, because all of you need to have a need to practice a lot, okay, in order to play around with the applications comfortably. Good, good. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Yeah, don't worry, Charanpreet. I'm there to assist you guys. Okay. What? Okay. I follow one basic rule in my sessions. Suppose today I have given you an idea about what common language runtime or common type system is all about. Okay. And I did ask all of you, do you have any doubts or something like that? And whatever doubts you had, that has been addressed appropriately, I believe. Now, tomorrow, or maybe after 3 days, any one of you still got stuck with that particular concept, still got stuck with that, statement CLS and CLR, please feel free to ask me. I'll be more than happy to reply back to you. But don't think that, okay, this thing was already discussed, how am I going to answer? No, that's none of your business. Okay, your main objective has to be to learn this particular technology, to learn it to the best of your ability. Okay, ask the trainer as many questions as you want. As many questions. Don't even think that probably this question is a stupid question or a silly question. No, you have no right to justify whether it is a stupid or a silly question. You just throw the question on me. Am I clear to all of you? You're welcome, Charanpreet. Amir, as far as the duration is concerned, it would be close to around 40 to 45 hours. And as far as the cost is concerned, I'll ask one of my uh, representative to be in touch with you regarding the course, regarding the cost. Fair enough. Yeah. All right, guys. So that's it for today. We'll stop it over here. We'll continue tomorrow the same time. Pleasure is mine. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sharon. Thank you, Vandana. Thank you, guys.